And Jim Toth on 680 CJOB.
Free for all Friday. Phone lines are open 204-780-6868. The winning call or text, but it's 8. 99 times out of 100, if you call, it is likely going to go to you. You're going to win that VIP car wash from our good friends at Wash Method. 680 CJOB's Jets at Noon, brought to you by Wash Method Car Wash, 690 St. Anne's Road. Give us a call, send us a text, 204-780-6868. Chat about anything and anything related to the hockey world, specifically the Winnipeg Jets. We'll announce the winner later on in the program as we're coming at you live from the Boston Pizza Studio. Try the new Triple Pep Pizza only at Boston Pizza.
60% of the time, it works all the time.
You can also send emails, like Tara sent me an email who said this. I wonder why the Stanley Cup Final starts June 4th. It should start Sunday. Why wait? Summer is June 9th. The NHL is a joke. The Cup should be awarded May 20th. Insane. That's why only 2 teams should make the playoffs. Get rid of 16. Baseball only lets in 8. Who watches hockey in June? That one from Terrace. Well, yeah, it does go way too late in the summer. I agree with you there.
It could
only 2 teams in the playoffs, like the Western Conference number 1 team and the Eastern Conference number 1 team, battle it out in one series. So it would have been the Jets versus the Capitals.
Well, and here's the thing: they announced
the Jets would have been Stanley Cup champions, Jim.
Of course,
that's you know what? Terrace is on something. That's what should have happened.
Of course. Why isn't it starting Tuesday? Or when they announced this week when you gave out the information, it would be the 4th or the 7th. I mean, ask the coaches and the players and the teams, do you want to wait?
I remember the NBA, I think they waited a week and a half one time.
1, 2,
I think it was
3,
like 20,
4, 5, 6, 7 days to start this thing.
2014, 2015. I think it was a week and a half, if not 2 weeks.
And all they're doing is they're losing their viewers. That's all they're doing. I mean, this is like when Netflix has a show and then it's 6 episodes and then the next 6 episodes are in 7 months.
Mm-hmm.
You know the show The Last of Us, which was shot in Calgary and Lethbridge area?
The first season was, second one was Vancouver, and
Yeah.
I played. They're like the video game came out a long time ago. I played the video games a long time ago.
But do you know what a smash hit that was? That was one of their highest viewed series ever. And the season 2 has just recently come out now, and their viewership is 50% less. Do you know why?
Because it took way too long.
Because it took way too long, and people find other shows, and people go in different directions, and that's what the Stanley Cup Final is going to do. And look, we're going to watch, but the Dallas Stars fans might tune in on Monday if they're like, well, let's see if Florida can beat this team that beat us, or blah, blah, blah. But nobody is. You're making them wait 7 days and think on a Thursday in June, all of a sudden people are going to go, that is nice.
Yeah.
And I'm not just talking about Canada because it's summer. I'm talking about everybody in the States who goes, like Minnesota and everybody else who goes through winters is going to be like on the 4th of June, I'm going to book a tea time. Because I can't have a lot of tea times.
By this going so long, you alienate everyone else essentially but the hardcore fans.
Yes, and the whole purpose of a final series is to gain fans or to keep the fans you have. Historically, the viewership numbers in Canada go massively down every round.
Yeah. The money is in the regular season, though. That's where every team tries to break even. And then, like, if a team makes the playoffs, then that's the icing on the cake. That's good cash flow for the club.
I'm excited for this final.
Yeah, but this is all about, it's about money, right? So the regular season, 82 games, they drag it out as long as, and so every franchise can try and make money with 41 home dates and then TV revenue and all that stuff. So the playoffs, when it comes to making cash, is kind of secondary in all this. It's not like the Super Bowl, right?
It's ridiculous, Cam. I don't understand what they don't get is because your viewership will go up if it starts this weekend. And it's very easy to go, look, if you don't get eliminated, then you have another game on the weekend. So then we're going to push it to then. And then if the series is over, which it is, we're moving this up to Monday.
Yeah, I got a text message here. This all from Scott in Minnesota. Hey, we met Scott, a while ago. Scott's a real cool guy.
Interstate.
Yeah, he says, boys, I loved watching the Stars and their fans lose last night. Brought me so much joy. Yes, I'm angry and bitter. Go Oil. And he sends a Canada flag. Scott in Minnesota. Well,
sorry,
Scott,
it's Wednesday. It's starting June 4th.
Yeah. Scott, I am not going for the Oilers. Believe me, I am not going for the Oilers. I actually got this call, and this person I think thinks they're going to get that $50 gift certificate from Boston Pizza out of me by sending this.
Congratulations on his Edmonton Oilers going to the Stanley Cup Final. Woo! 2024 is the best season yet. 2024 and 2025. Perfect.
Yeah, there was some perfect there. So I think, no, it's not perfect. It's not in a perfect world, the Oilers would have finished in last place.
Don't ever call us again. No, I'm just kidding.
If in a perfect world, the Oilers would have finished in last place and been once again a humiliation to their fan base
and $7 million over the cap and have to pay a fine for it and not even make the playoffs. That's the perfect world for us.
That's too beautiful. That is much too beautiful. Wick, you're on Jets at noon. What's going on, Wick?
Hey guys, I was starting to think you guys blocked me.
I would never block you.
I was thinking the last call, maybe beer number 6 started chirping or something. But anyhow,
never.
Anyhow, a couple of Jets free agents like Nikolai Ehlers, you 100% sign this guy, and then you move him to try to improve this team.
I think the Jets
so you sign him and then move him.
Yeah.
I think the Jets want to keep him, but if they're going to keep him, they're keeping him to be on the second line. That's what they want, right? But I don't know. I mean, like Paul Edmonds put out a Jets report on Wednesday. We replayed it on the show, which we never do because I thought it was so insightful. I agree with him. I don't know if something's coming together here, and I'm not saying it won't, but what do you think the Jets should? So they should sign Nick Ehlers.
Well, don't they have to sign him before they could trade him?
Well, yeah. Well,
when's the deadline?
They could. I mean, they could technically trade him before July 1st, right, Jim? They could do that.
Either way,
they could trade his rights.
Right.
Yeah, they could trade away his rights. But I mean, what would that be worth?
The other guy, like Mason Appleton, let this guy go play in the Mexican League or something. Like,
there's a Mexican.
I'm sure he could start one, right?
He could start one. You probably could. Somebody had the cash. They probably could.
Jonathan Taves, you'd be rolling the dice, but if the guy can still play, go get him.
There is a Mexican league, Liga Mexicana Elite de Hockey. The Aztec Eagle Warriors, the Mayan Astronomers, the Olmec Stoneheads, the Tehucan Priests, and the Zapotec Totems. And it is still going on. It was founded in 2017.
What is the average salary there? Can a guy make a living?
That is a great question, Jim.
And I presume most guys in that league don't care about making a living.
Sanjay Sarkar, formerly of the Lerma Sharks, signed to an 8-year, 48 million peso contract.
What's a peso?
Well, that's a great question here. Now, Wick, you got us going on a tangent here. Mexican peso.
How much is 48 Mexican pesos in Canadian money?
Okay, I got some beer to drink. Have a great weekend, guys.
Yeah, you
take
too.
Care. I got some beer to drink.
So
go get it, buddy. Enjoy your weekend.
So 48 million. I think if my, do I have to put another zero on here? Okay, thanks a lot, Wick. I think it's about $240,000 Canadian over 8 years.
It's how much? 400.
400 and hold on.
So 480 divided by 8, you're making.
It's a $3 million contract, $3.4 million about.
To play in the Mexican League for 8 years?
I think so. Due to team cash flow constraints, a portion of the salary is paid in kind with livestock and tequila.
That's why I want to play in Mexico. I want to get livestock
this is according
and
to
tequila.
Wikipedia. Because his team couldn't afford it, so they paid him in livestock and tequila.
He is not making $3 million over 8 years to play in the Mexican
Wikipedia
League.
would not lie.
And so he's being paid
Here
half
it is.
of that.
The free agency period began on July 13, 2022, the largest contract being awarded to forward Sanjay Sarkar. He was signed to an 8-year, $48 million peso contract 48 million peso contract due to team cash flow constraints. A portion of the salary was paid in kind with livestock and tequila. I'm just reading what it says here on Wikipedia.
So he's making a living playing hockey in Mexico.
Pretty, yeah.
Cam, I want to do that.
What are we doing here?
I want to go play in the Mexican Hockey League.
I must be wrong.
Get some cattle
I have to be
and
wrong.
some tequila and be on the penalty kill.
Okay, I have to be wrong here. There has to be.
Somebody's going to correct us here.
No, it's $3 million, about $3.4 million Canadian.
So over 8 years, he's making.
Well, how much of that is livestock and tequila? Not enough, as far as I'm concerned. I need livestock.
So you
and
have
I
a
need
base
tequila.
salary, and then you get your livestock and your tequila.
This can't be right.
My mind is blown. I
how
had
many-
no idea there was a professional league. I had no idea you could make a living at it. And I had no idea you could get assets like cattle and tequila.
This can't be. Okay, let's take a break. Let's come back.
There's somebody listening to this
isn't
in like
correct.
Grandview, Manitoba going, I'm going to go get some more livestock and tequila and play hockey.
This can't be real.
I'm leaving the farm, Mom.
People want to talk Ehlers. They
I'll
want to
be
talk
back with
Taves.
my
We'll get
Mexican
into this
hockey
when we come
career is
back.
done.
We'll be right back.
I'll be back, Pa. I'm going to do you proud. I'll get us some more cattle. I'll get some tequila and some dineros, putting pucks in the back of the net, baby.
On 680 CJOB.
Phone lines are jammed. Barry, Tyler, Lachlan, Fred, don't go anywhere. We'll get to you right after we come back from the break. But just to, the average, that's true. It is approximately 6 million Canadian. Sanjay Sarkar signed an 8-year deal worth about, altogether over 8 years, about $3 million. And a portion of it, doesn't say what portion of it, but he was paid in livestock and tequila. And we saw some people saying field hockey. No, it is ice hockey. It is a semi-professional ice hockey league with attendance somewhere in the lower hundreds. That is not, and they do not disclose salaries. They do not disclose attendance, but they are paying a player in livestock and tequila. So that tells you exactly what you need to know.
Just when I think we've run out of stuff to talk about on this program, you go and totally redeem yourself. Who out there at 780-6868 is looking at the wife, the spouse, the parents, the roommate saying, I got an idea.
Hey, I
to rejuvenate my senior men's hockey career.
I played A1 hockey. Why can't I play in Mexico?
Dwayne Gilowoychuk, Dr. Jeff Leader, they're all thinking about making a career change right now, at least for a season or two. I kiss the kids on the forehead. I will see you on the beach. I'm going to go make my dream come true.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get, what do you want to name the cattle? And when do you turn 18? Because we'll have a shot at tequila.
Yeah, Luke texts us, so he says, Sanjay Sarkar, pay that man his money.
Sanjay is a good name, too.
Robert says, that's a plan. Become a cartel bag boy. LOL, that one from Robert.
Well, don't get caught up in that while you're down there. Do the straight and narrow, feed your cattle, ice your tequila, and just play hockey.
David says, everyone on the ice is skating, and, sombreros on. Cheechmare. Come on. This is too stereotypical.
No, we're not going to be stereotypical or racist.
No.
We're just going to go live out a hockey dream in the sunshine country.
Yeah.
Instead of state.
We'll be right back.
Unbelievable. Mind is blowing.
If it isn't the guy who said, would you rather have Stuart Skinner as your goaltender? And look at you now. Anyways, have a great free-for-all Friday.
Is that guy calling you out there, Jim? The Boston Pizza Jet Set Noon hotline open 24/7, 204-780-6800. Dig into the new Triple Pep Pizza and Double Trouble Nachos, available now only at Boston Pizza.
Called me names. Chiefs called us names.
Oilers are off to the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, Oilers and Stuart Skinner off to the Stanley Cup. And any day of the week, I still take Connor Hellebuck over Stuart Skinner.
Me too.
Any day. But I appreciate the call, and good on you.
Let's go to, say Barry's. Who's been waiting the longest? Barry?
Barry.
Okay, thanks for it. Hey, Barry.
How are you guys?
Hey, what's up?
I didn't originally call to about the Mexican League, but how could a guy resist? That's hilarious. I can imagine it's the arena's attached to a barn, so you can go in and hack off a steak and make some goat cheese, and then wash it down with tequila. And their bonuses maybe are some good guns, some Acapulco Gold, and some peyote buttons or something. That doesn't sound like a bad place to play.
I'm saying, man,
You are
I'm
talking about an all-out rave rager.
Do you want to
just
play?
talking hockey.
Do you really want to play in the National Hockey League and make money, or do you want to relax and kick back in the Mexican Elite Hockey League? These are the questions you have to answer.
Like tequila and goat cheese, man. You can live off that.
Yeah, for sure. Barry, what else? What else do you want to talk about?
You're talking about the length of the playoffs and that.
Yeah.
I think the regular season's way too long. It should be like 70 or 72 games. That not as many guys would get injured, and then go back to the old format. I don't exactly remember how it went, but I remember part of the series of playoffs were the best of 5 instead of the best of 7, and that would prevent a lot more injuries and speed up the end of the season. But I think they play way too many games. But it's a business, and they want all the money they can get, right?
Yeah, Barry, I'm going to let you go. I really appreciate the call, just because we got to keep motoring here, because we got the phone lines are jammed here. But I appreciate the call, Jim. What do you think about that?
They're never going to get rid of regular season games, because to your point earlier, that's where the teams themselves make money, is the regular season games. So they're never going to reduce it. I do think they can speed up the playoffs. I think part of the battle of the attrition of the playoffs is when you'd play game 1, 2 back-to-back, day off to travel, game 3, 4 back-to-back, day off to travel. And the goal was to end the series as fast as you can to get 3 or 4 days off in a row. And if you don't, that's the battle of attrition. Mm-hmm. Now, I get it for TV and everything else and that, but I just think they could start the regular season. Nobody in the NHL likes 7 preseason games anymore. Reduce that to 4 to 5.
Even 2 or 3.
Start the regular season a week and a half earlier, end of September, first week of October at the latest, not October 9th, October 1st. And end this thing. Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final should never be past May 31st. You
remember how brutal the NFL was when they had 4? Now they're down to 3, and it's going to soon be 2. They'll only be doing, they're going to extend their season to CFL.
Because the regular season is where you make money. So why are you playing 4 preseason games? Play 2 and play 2 more regular season games. And now the players want to, but just reduce the preseason, speed this up, and have the Stanley Cup Final no later than Game 7, May 31st, and let June go.
Hey, Tyler. Welcome to Jets and Noon. Thanks for waiting. What's on your mind?
Hey, I'm thinking next year. I know how Hellebuck is in the playoffs. Hot take. But I'm saying trade Hellebuck, get a superstar player, start Comrie. We know how he is in the playoffs.
No, wait a minute. How is Eric Comrie in the playoffs?
Well, I'm saying you start Comrie.
Yeah, he hasn't played a playoff game in his life.
Yeah, but I'm watching him. I think he's an all-star caliber goalie who's sitting on the bench.
So why hasn't he gotten a starting job in Detroit or Buffalo or Winnipeg or where was he else? Arizona?
I'm not sure. I'm just thinking we know how Hellebuck is in the playoffs. I'm thinking you start taking him in regular season games. You start playing him. And,
so, what are you trading for? Like, you're trading Hellebuck? You're sending him out. Who are you getting in return? Because that'd be a pretty high price, right? Like you need like you have a guy that's I think likely to win the Hart, or at least in the top 2 there. I think Draisaitl might end up taking it as well. But it's like a Leon Draisaitl. That's who you'd trade him for.
That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking, like, I know it's a hot take. I love Hellebuck. I think he is the best goalie in the league. But I'm just thinking they could do something to take a player like Draisaitl. I mean, Matthews isn't a playoff guy either. But Hellebuck's got enough superstar power where they could trade him for.
Okay.
Tyler.
Thanks, Tyler. I appreciate it.
It's free for all Friday, buddy. So it's free for all.
Take care.
Thanks, buddy.
Take care. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for the call. Yeah. I'm not doing that.
I'm not either.
No, I'm sticking with Connor Hellebuck. Hey, Lachlan.
Hey guys. I was just going to say, I don't buy into that narrative about playoff performers or non-playoff performers. I think most of it's just mental, to be honest. Same goes with Austin Matthews. I believe Hellebuck can totally be just as good in the regular season as he can in the playoffs. There's no reason why he can't be.
I think he was against Dallas.
No, exactly. The last 2 games especially, and then he had 2 shutouts. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, and Game 6, he was outstanding. Probably, I wouldn't say it was his best game of the year, but it was top 10, I think. He was incredible in that Game 6.
I just wanted to Or sorry, I just wanted to say one last thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
You guys were talking earlier this week about Marco Rossi. I think that is a fantastic idea. And over the past couple days,
you're listening to the podcast, the exclusive portion of the podcast, like everyone else should.
Yeah, but yeah, the talks have been heating up over the past couple of days, and apparently his asking price is 7x7, which I think would be perfect for the Jets.
I'm with you, Ty or Lachlan. I think him or Mason McTavish in Anaheim, I would offer on an offer sheet 7x7. Send the picks. There's your second line center, and probably in about 4 or 5 years, your first line center.
Exactly.
And Scheifele moves down to number 2, and you solve that problem.
Where your prospects are right now for the Winnipeg Jets, I think it would cost you a first and a third round pick to give them an offer sheet. I would do it.
I would do it too.
Because you would trade Marco Rossi right now for first and third.
And Christian
no problem.
O'Mell pointed out to me yesterday they don't have their second round pick, and you have to have your own pick. You can't trade for a second round pick and do it on an offer sheet. But if it's a first and third, and you can lock up a good young center for 7 years, I do it.
And Scott in Minnesota texted the show earlier, and stick it to the Wild a little bit, Scotty? Thanks a lot, Lachlan. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
All right, take care. Let's go to Fred. Hey, Fred, you're on Jets at Noon.
Hey there, guys. I listen to you guys every day, and it's very enjoyable.
Thank you very much, Fred.
You, Fred.
I appreciate that.
It.
Here's what I think we should do. I think we should get rid of Appleton and use that money and give $1 million to Jonathan Toews.
Okay. I'm happy you brought up Jonathan Toews. I'm surprised, Fred, it's taken this long for somebody to bring him up, and I'm happy you did.
Yeah, and then you give the other couple million that's left to Ehlers, and then you tell Ehlers he's going to get lots more ice time with Jonathan Toews, and you put Perfetti with him, and that would be a hell of a line.
Toews is going to get a contract. He will play in the National Hockey League. Some team is going to give him a contract, right?
Yeah.
Jim, how much do you think Jonathan Toews is gonna
Well, look,
command?
I know we talked about the Lowry hip surgery, but I think we didn't maybe delve into it enough. 10 to 25 games, and a hip could be longer, like around Christmas time.
Yeah.
I mean, Jonathan Toews, I don't know if he can be a second line center. I don't know that. I think he could be a third line center, and I'm pretty sure at 37 years old he could be a decent fourth line center. So with that injury, I think that's why they have high interest in him for sure. I mean, to me, this is you know how Corey Perry's making league minimum in Edmonton. You know how other late 30 guys are making league minimum to try and win, but they're not nothing. They're contributing something.
Well, Corey Perry's contributed a ton. These players,
a ton. At 39 years old, I think Jonathan Toews.
Yesterday.
Jonathan Toews has never not been in shape.
Don't you think Toews would be a perfect center for Ehlers and Perfetti?
I think he'd be.
I don't know at this age. I don't know. I think you need a lot of speed to play that top line.
He's pretty smart though, and he goes in the corners and.
Yeah, Fred. I think he would be an immensely valuable asset to this organization, and I think the Jets. Let's say they sign. What do you think it would be? $2 million, $1 million, $2 million, or something like that for Toews?
I think it would be $3 million, but could be incentives in there.
Yeah,
for games
because he's over 35 and
so
stuff.
It'd probably be $1 million base.
Yeah,
and then it could be up to 3 depending on games played.
I think how you
points.
I think listen, when you have a guy that's trying to come back like Toews, he knows that he has to earn stuff back, and I think he's more than willing to do that. I know he's more than willing to do that. So if you're going to bring Jonathan Toews in, you say you give him $3 million, you say, Jonathan, you are going to come into this team, and we are going to put you in the best position for you to succeed, and the best position for this team to succeed. If he comes,
also are going to get a whole pile of new fans because people from Winnipeg playing on the Jets.
100%, absolutely. He would be cheered very, very loudly, and it would be a big boon for the team. So, is he a second line center? I don't know. They say, Fred, I don't know the answer to that question. But if he comes in and blows the roof off of everybody, and he returns to the Jonathan Toews before this illness started to drag him down, and he becomes that Jonathan Toews again, yeah, I think he is the second line center. Remains to be seen. Yep. I think a lot of things still have to fit together. Fair enough, Fred?
Sounds good.
Thanks
Fred.
Thanks for the call. I really appreciate it. Yeah, thanks so much for listening too as well. Let's get Rick on the show. Hey, Rick.
Gents, how are you?
Good. Good.
Just talking about, the contracts and what, might be important to certain employees, whether it's going to be farm animals or whatever.
How much acreage are you going to give me?
if CJOB is listening to this, I'm wondering if Jim negotiates his next contract,
it's a big one too.
If he's offered a quality toupee and like an extra large bottle of Sex Panther, the original Sex Panther, not the knockoff.
Not the knockoff, yeah.
Not the knockoff, and you know how you change the difference between the knockoff and the real Sex Panther.
Yeah, 60% of the time it works every time.
It's made with real panther, So.
Well, first of all, Rick, in my contracts, I only ask for things I need, so I wouldn't need the toupee. Now, the Sex Panther, I could probably use a lot of.
You, at the age of 15, you look like Meryl Stubing.
I could use the Sex Panther for sure, but I don't need the toupee at
Rick,
all.
And
I probably don't need it for another 184 years.
Yeah, Rick, and I was in on the contract negotiations for Jim. I was actively campaigning against him getting less money, but it didn't work out that way. I mean, what is it, going into high six figures now? Your deal?
In pesos? For sure.
Thanks, Rick. Thanks for the call.
In Dominican money? For sure.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, Neil, what's up? You're on Jets at Noon.
Hey, guys. I just, the previous caller had mentioned a few things about Jonathan Toews. He's 37 years old. He had a couple of illnesses with COVID and autoimmune deficiencies or whatever. But listen, Gordie Howe played until I think he was about 52. And I think there's lots of life left in that guy. He's won 3 Stanley Cups. And, if we can pick him up he's going to be relatively cheap. That's a no-brainer. Like, just bring him on. Maybe he's third line, maybe he's fourth line, whatever. But he's got the experience and the leadership skills to have a positive impact in the room. And if we pass on him, I think we're making a big mistake.
Yeah, two to tango. What was he initially tied with? Toronto and Colorado and the Jets.
Colorado, Toronto, and the Jets.
That was Frank Cervelli from the Daily Faceoff.
And we should mention this too, but there is a report out, not a report, a story. They confirmed that the Jets did have a deal in place for Brock Nelson, and he said no. And then went to Colorado, and that has been like a report that came out this week. They
I didn't see that.
There was a former NHL player who was saying he knows that they had a deal in place for Brock Nelson with the Islanders, and he said no, and then went to Colorado. So Brock Nelson is a free agent now too.
The big difference, though, is Toews is a Winnipeg boy, right? And there's a lot of. I think there's a lot of traction related to coming back to your home team and finishing that out, and the potential to win a Stanley Cup. Because listen, the Jets, they only got to the second round this year, but their potential with Hellbeck and these people that talk about trading Hellbeck, like to me, it's ridiculous notion. We've had the best goalie in the NHL. Best goal in the world, probably.
Yeah. Neil, we'll have to leave it there. I just got to go. I got to make sure I get some sponsorship reads in here, but I appreciate your call. Okay.
Thanks, Neil.
You pay the bills.
Yeah,
okay.
I got to pay the bills. Yeah.
Wow, we gotta pay bills. We don't have cattle and tequila.
And also, we got to give away to the number one caller that $50 gift certificate to Boston Pizza today. Dig into the new Triple Pep Pizza and Double Trouble Nachos, available now only at Boston Pizza. For the best caller, the number one caller to call into the Boston Pizza Jets at Noon hotline, open 24/7, 204-780-6868.
Our goal this summer is to get Sanjay on the program.
Sanjay, yeah. Mauricio Alvarez has offered Toews $3 million livestock and some Crown Royal. We also haven't given away that VIP car wash.
He's got a lake named after him.
You know what, Mauricio? See, this is what I say.
Mauricio, this is what we need. Outside of the box thinking to bring a championship here.
That's why Mauricio is our VIP. He's our VIP car wash winner from Wash Method.
Mauricio.
204-780-6868. Wash Method Car Wash, 690 St. Anne's Road. Bringing to you live here on Jets at Noon. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We're coming at you live from the Boston Pizza Studio. Try the new Triple Pep Pizza only at Boston Pizza. Jonathan Taves, is that how big of a wild card is it, Jim? Like it's
again, it depends on the role. If it's fourth line, I don't think it's. I mean, it's a risk, but I don't.
Is he interested in a
risk.
fourth line job? Like he wants to come in. And, does he want to play? Is it like just I want to play, or do I want to come back and win?
He wants to win, but he wants both. Look, I get it. What we're missing here is whether it's Jonathan Taves or not. You have an elite athlete who's at the peak of his past the peak, but still and it's just gone. And if there's any chance you can get it back, like look at how many guys go in on PTOs.
It's a risk
on PTOs and go 2 weeks later. Go look, I don't have it, but at least now I know. I get it, right?
Yeah.
And I think the way he's driven himself and always been prepared, like this is the thing. He'll know, right? He'll get into a camp and do 2 to 3 weeks, and we'll know. And he'll know. But right now, none of us know. That's why we're talking about it.
Exactly.
And so I can understand why he would rather know and has the fire and the passion. And he was never shy of fire, passion, and determination or fitness.
If the door is open, the Jets have to take a serious look at this.
Yes.
There's no doubt about it. If the door is open, take a look, go for it. And if something can be worked out between both camps, I say sign.
And Cam, to your point of Toronto and Colorado being interested, like they'll have somebody's gone to Arizona and watched them, or will be, and I think that if that many teams are interested, that's what will determine. If one team says we see you in a fourth line role, come join us, and another one sees we see you in a third line role, come join us. Like that'll help determine it, right?
Yeah.
All right. I just wanted to give my 2 cents. I think the Jets are very close to taking it all the way.
Congratulations to Warren. He was our best caller calling in to the Jets at noon hotline, open 24/7, 204-780-6800. Dig into the new triple pep pizza and double trouble nachos, available now only at Boston Pizza. He's our number one caller and has been awarded the $50 gift certificate to Boston Pizza. Jim told check it all the way till 2 o'clock. That's it for me. Be back same time on Monday. See ya.